The Şakir Pasha family, one of Istanbul's most distinguished lineages, played a significant cultural and intellectual role during the late Ottoman Empire, with a history deeply rooted in high-ranking bureaucratic positions, art, and literature. The family was a symbol of prestige. However, into this esteemed household would come a love so powerful that it would shake traditions and break the rules. Mehmed Şakir Pasha and the forbidden love of Italian Aliye Berger. In 1908, Cevat Şakir Kabaağaçlı traveled to England to study modern history at Oxford University. However, due to his lack of interest in the history department, he left before completing his education and moved to Italy, enrolling at the Academy of Fine Arts in Rome. There, he met the Italian model Aliye Berger, and a close bond quickly formed between them. Aliye was a talented model well known in Roman art circles, a modern and free-spirited woman. Cevat Şakir and Aliye's shared passion for art and their deep affection for each other formed the foundation of their relationship. In 1913, the couple married and lived in Italy for some time before returning to Istanbul in 1914 at the request of Cevat Şakir's family, settling in the house of Şakir Pasha. Aliye quickly adapted to the cosmopolitan structure of Istanbul, drawing attention with her interest in art and literature. She belonged to a European family residing in the city as part of the Ottoman Empire's westernization process. Her graceful demeanor, refined speech, and many talents captivated everyone. However, the person who found her most intriguing was Mehmed Şakir Pasha, a high-ranking officer in the Ottoman army, a statesman, and a former diplomat. Şakir Pasha was known for his strict authority and disciplined nature, but his interest in Aliye made him abandon his rigid and serious demeanor. Aliye, in turn, admired his wisdom and outlook on life. What began as casual encounters gradually evolved into a deep and passionate love. However, this love was in direct conflict with the strict traditions of the Şakir Pasha family and Ottoman society. If discovered, the consequences would be severe for everyone involved. Thus, the two were forced to keep their relationship a secret for a long time. Şakir Pasha and Aliye met in secluded corners of Istanbul, sometimes on boat rides along the Bosphorus, other times in Italian clubs in Taksim. As whispers began to spread, Şakir Pasha's family became aware of the affair and reacted strongly. Saray İsmet Hanım, feeling her husband drifting away from her, grew increasingly furious, while their children struggled to make sense of their father's transformation. The tension within the family escalated into open conflicts over time. Cevat Şakir was deeply disappointed by his father's affair. He found it difficult to reconcile the authoritative and disciplined figure who had spent his childhood reprimanding him with the man now entangled in a forbidden romance. His father's neglect of the family in favor of Aliye disturbed not only him but also other family members. That an Ottoman Pasha would put his own family second for the sake of an Italian woman, especially his own daughter-in-law, was seen as a major scandal in the traditional society of the time. The tensions culminated in 1914 at the family estate in Afyon. During a heated argument over Şakir Pasha and Aliye's relationship, emotions ran high, and the confrontation spiraled out of control. As the argument intensified, anger and years of pent-up resentment exploded, culminating in gunfire. A bullet from Cevat Şakir's weapon ended the life of his father Mehmed Şakir Pasha. In a letter to Azra Irhat, Cevat Şakir described the moment. The argument escalated to such a point that my father fired at me. I grabbed a gun lying nearby and fired back, without even aiming. Following the incident, Cevat Şakir was tried for murder and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. However, after serving 7 years, he was released due to his worsening tuberculosis. This tragedy was an irreversible turning point for both Aliye and the Şakir Pasha family. The aftermath of the event left deep scars on all involved. Mehmed Şakir Pasha's murder sent shockwaves through Istanbul's elite circles. Aliye, already struggling to gain full acceptance in Ottoman society, now found herself in an even more precarious position. She had lost nearly all support within the family, and the Şakir Pasha lineage severed all ties with her. Saray İsmet Hanım, in particular, held her responsible for her husband's death and treated her with open hostility. For Aliye, Istanbul had become unlivable. She became the subject of suspicion and gossip among both Ottoman high society and the European minority communities. With Cevat Şakir imprisoned, she felt she had nothing left tying her to the city. With the help of a few close friends, she decided to return to Italy. Upon her return, she withdrew from society for a time, moving between Rome and Naples. However, she never found true peace again. Though she continued to engage with art, she was no longer the joyful, free-spirited woman she had once been. She had loved Cevat Şakir, but the events that unfolded had left her deeply wounded. Some sources suggest that she never remarried and spent the remainder of her life in seclusion. Though she tried to leave behind her years in Istanbul, the affair with Mehmed Şakir Pasha and its tragic consequences left an indelible mark on her life. Upon his release, Cevat Şakir returned to Istanbul, but he no longer felt at home in the city. His ties with his family had largely been severed, and he had been ostracized by society. In 1925, he was exiled to Bodrum due to a controversial article he had written. It was there that his legendary new life began. The natural beauty of Bodrum, its sailors, fishermen, and way of life deeply inspired him. He dedicated himself to a new existence and began writing under the name The Fisherman of Halikarnassos. His sea tales, inspired by Greek mythology, and his works describing the Aegean's nature and people left a lasting impact on Turkish literature. Cevat Şakir Kabaağaçlı was laid to rest in the Gaziantep area of Bodrum, as per his final wish. Today, the Bodrum Maritime Museum exhibits the writer's original manuscripts, drawings, and works related to maritime history. To uncover the hidden truths about Turkish TV series and movies, hit the like button and support us by subscribing to the channel. Feel free to share the topics you'd like us to cover in the comments. We'll do our best to create new videos based on your requests. See you in the next video.